Although I have some travel vids on my channel, it's not really my thing. But this tiny section of Denver is just too cool. And no, this ain't me talking. At 80 years old and a number of decades screaming at people, my voice sort of sounds like present-day Clint Eastwood with a terminal cold. So you can understand me, I'm using an AI.
You say these are the exact same buildings that were here 50 years ago, 60 years ago.
That's me talking. Now you know why I used an AI.
Different shops, of course.
I first arrived in the city at the end of 1967 to attend the University of Denver. I had already developed a taste for the seedier parts of a town. I remember the movie director David Lynch saying in an interview when he got to a new place, he immediately looked for the industrial part of the city. That was sort of me then. And it still is. Having zero money, this area offered a wide selection of cheap rooms for rent in mostly big old houses, built in the 1930s and before. I found the area to my liking. Broadway was filled with head shops, thrift shops, old-style dive bars, and lower-end cheap food sellers. And there were always a half-dozen places for musicians to play out and find fans. After I graduated from DU, I left Denver for Miami, Florida, and didn't return for 50 years. Everything changes in 50 years. That's except me. I look a hell of a lot older, but I'm still the same. I was anxious to check out my old college days hang area. Maybe something recognizable would still exist there. What I found was a bunch of head shops, tattoo parlors, thrift shops, dive bars, and lower-end eating joints. There were a half-dozen places for local musicians to play out. Even the old dollar movie theater was still there and showing movies. Wow. There is a theorem in urban economics that states bohemians, meaning artists, artisans, musicians, titty bar girls, hookers, and other forms of counterculture entrepreneurs, will settle in low-rent, sleazier, run-down parts of town. With cheap rent, these sorts of businesses can survive. People follow, how many times can you browse at Banana Republic, Foot Locker, or the Apple Store? Well, maybe you won't get tired of the Apple Store. But a lot of people look for something a little newer, less pristine, more artsy, and just plain different. And then there are people like me who don't particularly feel inclined to be regular. People come to shop for something original or different, or maybe to gawk at the avant-garde and counterculture folks who normally gravitate to these locations. Traffic increases, which draws the attention of national chains. They come and compete for commercial space. Rent rises and the bohemians are squeezed out. That is one factor in the cyclical nature of urban neighborhoods. Somehow South Broadway seems to have missed that cycle. Stayed the same. There was one new place, Voodoo Donuts. What sort of person could possibly pass by a place called Voodoo Donuts and not go inside?